Every morning, millions of people over 60 start their day with a warm cup of coffee. It feels like comfort, energy, and routine all in one sip. But hidden behind that aroma lies a surprising truth few people know. One small coffee habit can quietly weaken your sense of balance over time. And the danger doesn't come from the coffee itself. It comes from when and how it's consumed. Studies show that after the age of 60, our body systems responsible for coordination, the muscles, nerves, and inner ear, become more sensitive to changes in hydration and blood pressure. A single mild imbalance can make standing up feel unsteady or walking across the room a little uncertain. Most seniors assume these wobbles are just part of aging, but science tells a different story. They are often linked to habits we repeat every single day without noticing. Now imagine this. Something as ordinary as your morning coffee could be quietly stealing away your stability. It's not a matter of caffeine being bad. In fact, moderate coffee intake has some proven health benefits, including sharper cognition and better circulation. The hidden risk lies in timing, especially when coffee is the very first thing you drink after waking up. That's when your body is most dehydrated, your electrolytes are at their lowest, and your nervous system is still adjusting from rest to alertness. Japanese researchers studying senior longevity have discovered something fascinating. Older adults in Japan, particularly those living in Okinawa, the region famous for having the highest number of centenarians, rarely begin their mornings with coffee. Instead, they start with a simple ritual that supports hydration and balance. They believe this small morning choice helps maintain both physical and mental steadiness throughout the day. Think about it. You wake up, your body has gone 6 to 8 hours without water, and your brain is eager for stimulation. You reach for coffee. It feels like energy, but in reality, it's gently draining your reserves before your day even begins. Over months and years, this habit may subtly contribute to dizziness, fatigue, and weaker coordination, symptoms often blamed on aging rather than lifestyle. This doesn't mean coffee must disappear from your mornings. The key lies in understanding the science behind that hidden mistake, and how a tiny adjustment, something you can do tomorrow, can protect your balance and help you move with confidence. Today we'll uncover the physiological reason this happens and the Japanese-inspired habits that prevent it. By the end, you'll see that keeping your balance strong after 60 doesn't require radical change, just smarter, more mindful routines rooted in ancient wisdom and modern science. So before your next sip of coffee, pause for a moment. What if one simple morning shift could help you stay steadier on your feet, clearer in your mind, and younger in your movements? The answer begins with understanding why balance weakens with age, and how the smallest choices make the biggest difference. Balance is one of those abilities we never think about until it starts to fade. It's the silent harmony between muscles, nerves, eyes, and the inner ear that keeps us upright without effort. After 60, this harmony can start to weaken, not because of one single cause, but because the entire system becomes more delicate. Understanding how this process unfolds is the first step to protecting it. Inside the inner ear, tiny structures called semicircular canals detect movement and send messages to the brain about direction and position. These messages are instantly combined with visual signals from the eyes and sensory information from the muscles. When everything works in sync, you feel stable. But as we age, nerve signals slow down, reaction time decreases, and muscle fibers lose some of their strength. Even small shifts like dehydration or sudden drops in blood pressure can disturb this communication network. The decline is gradual and often invisible. You might notice slight unsteadiness when getting out of bed, or a brief dizziness when turning too quickly. These are early signs that your balance system is asking for more care. While most people assume this is inevitable, researchers studying aging populations have found remarkable differences between countries. In Japan, for instance, people over 70 report fewer falls and better coordination compared to their Western counterparts. The difference isn't genetic, it's behavioral. Japanese elders have a cultural relationship with movement and mindfulness that begins first thing in the morning. They treat the start of the day as a delicate transition, not a rush. Before consuming any stimulant, they hydrate, stretch, and move slowly. This simple awareness protects their nervous and muscular systems. In contrast, many Western habits, including skipping hydration and going straight for caffeine, put the body under mild stress the moment it wakes. The National Institute on Aging in the United States has highlighted that balance is one of the strongest predictors of long-term independence. Poor balance doesn't just increase fall risk, it affects posture, confidence, and the ability to stay active. But this decline is not irreversible. The right habits, hydration, nutrition, and gentle movement can strengthen neural coordination even later in life. In Japanese wellness traditions, there's a belief that the body listens in the morning. What you give it at dawn sets the tone for the entire day. This belief aligns with modern physiology. Early hydration supports blood flow to the brain and muscles, stabilizes blood pressure, and enhances alertness without shock. When that first intake is coffee, especially on an empty stomach, the opposite happens. Fluids are lost before they're replaced, and the body's delicate balance mechanism faces unnecessary strain. By understanding why balance naturally weakens with age, we can see how small lifestyle habits accelerate or slow that process. And now that this foundation is clear, it's time to reveal the one hidden coffee habit that quietly disrupts this equilibrium more than any other. So, what is the hidden coffee habit that slowly weakens balance after 60? It's the simple act of drinking coffee first thing in the morning, before your body has received any water or food. It seems harmless. Millions of people start their day this way. But when the body is dehydrated from a night's rest, that early caffeine intake triggers a chain of reactions that quietly undermine stability. After sleep, the body is in a mild state of dehydration. You've gone 6 to 8 hours without fluid, yet your kidneys, heart, and brain have been working the entire time. When coffee enters the system before water, it doesn't rehydrate you. It does the opposite. Caffeine acts as a mild diuretic, increasing urine production and drawing out water along with essential electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These minerals are vital for the electrical impulses that control muscle coordination and nerve communication. Lose too many of them and balance begins to suffer. The problem grows over time. Each morning the cycle repeats. Caffeine hits the bloodstream, the body loses more water, and the nervous system adapts to mild dehydration as its new normal. For someone in their 60s or 70s whose sense of balance already depends on careful hydration, this subtle imbalance becomes more noticeable. You might feel lightheaded when standing, or slightly dizzy after walking a short distance. It feels like fatigue or low energy, but often it's the result of dehydration triggered by an empty stomach coffee ritual. In contrast, many Japanese elders avoid this mistake. Their morning routines are deliberate and mindful. Before any tea or coffee, they sip warm water, sometimes with a pinch of natural salt or a squeeze of lemon, to wake up their digestive and circulatory systems. This practice stabilizes internal fluids and prepares the body for stimulation. Only after that gentle hydration do they enjoy a light breakfast or green tea. It's a small shift that makes a profound difference over decades. Researchers from Kyoto University observed that seniors who hydrate before consuming caffeine experience fewer balance-related complaints, including dizziness and sudden instability. The reason is simple. Water helps regulate blood pressure and keeps the brain's vestibular system, responsible for orientation, functioning efficiently. Without that initial hydration, the brain struggles to process equilibrium signals, especially during rapid movements like turning or standing up. The irony is that coffee itself isn't the enemy. It's when it replaces the body's first need, hydration, that problems arise. For most people, adjusting the order of morning habits is enough to reverse the issue completely. Just one glass of water before your coffee can restore minerals, protect nerve function, and improve coordination. This overlooked detail explains why so many seniors notice mild instability without any apparent cause. The truth is, the cause is right there in the cup they reach for every morning. Now that we've uncovered the habit itself, the next step is to understand exactly how it affects the body from the inside, and why it does so more strongly after 60. When coffee enters the body before hydration, a precise chain of physiological reactions begins, subtle but powerful enough to affect your sense of balance. Caffeine stimulates the adrenal glands, causing a mild release of cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones momentarily raise alertness but also increase heart rate and promote fluid loss. For younger adults, this effect is minimal, but for those over 60, it can disrupt the body's internal equilibrium in measurable ways. First, caffeine's diuretic action encourages the kidneys to expel more water and minerals. Sodium, potassium, and magnesium, three electrolytes responsible for muscle contraction and nerve signaling, are carried out of the body more rapidly. When these levels drop, the brain's ability to communicate with muscles weakens. This can translate to slower reflexes, unsteady footing, or that brief wave of dizziness when you stand too quickly. The effect is rarely dramatic but often cumulative. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging showed that even mild dehydration can reduce postural stability in adults over 65 by nearly 15%. This means that something as small as skipping morning water before coffee can make a noticeable difference in coordination. Japanese researchers reached similar conclusions. Elderly participants who began their mornings with hydration instead of caffeine displayed stronger grip strength, steadier gait, and fewer balance-related complaints. Another aspect involves blood pressure regulation. Coffee consumed on an empty stomach can cause temporary spikes in blood pressure, followed by sudden drops as the caffeine wears off. For older adults whose baroreceptors, the sensors that help maintain steady blood pressure, respond more slowly, these fluctuations can lead to momentary lightheadedness. Combined with dehydration, this effect further increases the risk of imbalance. Then comes the impact on the inner ear. The vestibular system relies on precise fluid levels to detect motion and orientation. When dehydration occurs, even slightly, those inner ear fluids can thicken, sending distorted signals to the brain. You might feel fine sitting down, but the moment you move or bend, your balance feels off. This is one of the most common yet least recognized effects of habitual morning coffee without hydration. In contrast, Japanese wellness traditions treat the body's internal balance like a garden, something to be maintained gently and consistently. Seniors in Okinawa, for instance, drink warm water immediately upon waking to reawaken the circulation. Their morning fluids contain trace minerals that restore equilibrium naturally. Only afterward do they enjoy a small cup of green tea, which has lower caffeine content and higher antioxidant benefits than coffee. Science now validates this cultural wisdom. Proper hydration before caffeine keeps the nervous system stable, protects muscle communication, and preserves coordination. The conclusion is clear. Balance doesn't fade suddenly. It's slowly drained away, one dehydrated morning at a time. Understanding this mechanism changes everything. In the next chapter, we'll see how Japanese elders approach the morning differently, and why their mindful rituals could be the key to keeping stability well into advanced age. Across Japan, the morning begins in a way that feels almost sacred. There is no rush for caffeine, no hurried gulp of bitter coffee before the day starts. Instead, older adults embrace slow, deliberate rituals rooted in respect for the body's natural rhythm. These routines reveal why balance and coordination often remain intact well into their 70s, 80s, and even 90s. In many Japanese households, the day starts with a small cup of warm water, sometimes infused with a hint of sea salt or lemon. This gentle act signals to the body that it's time to awaken, not shock it into alertness. The warmth soothes the stomach, aids circulation, and replenishes hydration lost overnight. It may seem like a simple choice, but it reflects a deep understanding of how energy flows, and how balance depends on inner stability before outer activity. After hydrating, some elders prepare a light breakfast, miso soup, steamed rice, or pickled vegetables. These foods are naturally rich in minerals, probiotics, and electrolytes, creating a foundation for the day's movement. Only after eating do they enjoy tea, most often green tea or matcha, which contains caffeine but in a gentler, slower releasing form. This sequence, water, food, tea, protects the body from dehydration and ensures that stimulation arrives after nourishment. This order contrasts sharply with the Western routine of waking, brewing coffee, and skipping breakfast. The Japanese rhythm prioritizes harmony over hurry. It's not about avoiding coffee altogether, It's about listening to the body first. Researchers from Tokyo Women's Medical University found that elderly individuals who practiced hydration and light nutrition before caffeine displayed steadier posture and fewer balance-related complaints. Their hydration status remained higher throughout the morning, reducing the risk of dizziness or falls. Culturally, this behavior stems from a philosophy known as Ichinichi no Hajime wa Jobun ni. The start of the day builds the body. The idea is that how you treat your body in the morning sets your physical tone for the rest of the day. This mindset encourages consistency and mindfulness, rather than dependence on instant stimulation. Even the act of preparing tea carries intention. The Japanese tea ceremony, though often simplified in daily life, teaches patience, attention, and calm. These qualities mirror balance itself: steady, deliberate, unshaken. For many seniors, this ritual doubles as a mental exercise, training focus and calmness, which support both brain and body coordination. In the West, coffee culture emphasizes speed and energy. In Japan, morning rituals emphasize awareness and equilibrium. That difference, subtle as it seems, may explain why Japanese elders maintain remarkable steadiness into advanced age. The body simply performs better when it's treated as something to prepare, not to push. Now that we've seen what they do differently, it's time to look deeper into why hydration and minerals hold such power, how they physically preserve nerve function, muscle control, and balance even when the years keep advancing. Water is the foundation of every movement the body makes. Every nerve signal, every muscle contraction, every step you take depends on it. After 60, maintaining hydration becomes more than a comfort. It becomes a form of balance protection. The human body is about 60% water, but with age, the thirst sensation weakens, kidney function changes, and dehydration becomes more common without anyone noticing. This is where the connection between hydration, minerals, and balance becomes clear. When the body lacks enough fluid, blood volume decreases. This means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach the brain and muscles. The brain responds by narrowing blood vessels and adjusting pressure, which can cause lightheadedness or momentary loss of equilibrium. For older adults, even mild dehydration can create a chain reaction that leads to wobbly steps or dizziness after standing up. Equally important are the minerals dissolved in that water, electrolytes like sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. They regulate how nerves send messages to muscles. Without proper balance among these minerals, muscles may twitch, tighten, or fail to respond quickly. Magnesium, for example, helps control over 300 bodily processes, including muscle relaxation and nerve coordination. Yet caffeine consumption, especially without hydration, accelerates its loss through urine. Over time, this depletion can subtly affect coordination and reflexes. Japanese researchers studying longevity found that seniors with stable hydration and mineral intake performed significantly better on balance and mobility tests. Their secret was not supplements, but habit: consistent hydration through warm water, mineral-rich broths, and teas made from roasted barley or green leaves. These beverages supply gentle fluids without the heavy diuretic effects of coffee. In the United States and Europe, hydration is often reactive. People drink when they feel thirsty. In contrast, Japanese elders practice Mizu no Jikan, or the time of water. It's a rhythm built into their day: water upon waking, with meals, and before rest. This steady intake keeps the internal environment balanced, protecting muscle and nerve performance around the clock. Science supports this ancient wisdom. A 2021 article in Frontiers in Physiology reported that proper hydration improves neuromuscular communication and stabilizes gait in adults over 65. It showed that even a 2% drop in hydration levels could impair balance by as much as 20%. The message is clear. Balance is not only a matter of strength, it's a matter of cellular communication, and water is the medium that keeps that conversation flowing. Restoring hydration before caffeine intake gives the body time to regain equilibrium. Just one glass of water with a pinch of minerals before coffee can protect balance systems and stabilize energy. The Japanese have understood this for generations. Before stimulating the body, they support it. Having uncovered the vital role hydration and minerals play, the next step is practical: how to drink coffee safely and wisely after 60, keeping both your ritual and your stability intact. For many people, coffee is more than a drink. It's a morning ritual tied to comfort and identity. The good news is that you don't have to give it up to protect your balance after 60. You simply have to drink it the right way. Once you understand how timing, hydration, and moderation interact, coffee becomes a friend rather than a hidden threat. The first rule is simple: drink water before coffee. A full glass of water within the first 15 minutes of waking restores hydration and helps your body recover from overnight fluid loss. Wait about 30 minutes before having your first cup of coffee. This short pause allows your nervous system to stabilize, ensures blood pressure has normalized, and prepares your stomach to handle acidity. People who follow this routine often report fewer dizzy moments and smoother energy levels throughout the morning. The second rule is to avoid drinking coffee on an empty stomach. When caffeine enters without food, it stimulates acid production, which can irritate the stomach lining and affect blood sugar control. More importantly, it increases the likelihood of dehydration and temporary blood pressure drops, both of which influence balance. A small breakfast, even something simple like fruit, oatmeal, or a boiled egg, acts as a buffer that keeps your system steady. Next, consider the strength and quantity of your coffee. Strong, concentrated brews deliver high doses of caffeine quickly, which can overactivate the nervous system. After 60, the body metabolizes caffeine more slowly, meaning its stimulating effects last longer and can cause jitteriness or mild tremors that throw off coordination. Choose lighter roasts or smaller servings, quality over quantity. Timing matters too. The body's natural cortisol levels are highest within the first hour of waking, meaning your energy is already rising. Drinking coffee later, about an hour after waking, complements your body's rhythm instead of clashing with it. This practice mirrors Japanese-style pacing, where stimulation follows restoration. Finally, don't rely on coffee as your only source of alertness. Mix in herbal teas or roasted barley tea, known as mujicha in Japan. It's naturally caffeine-free, rich in minerals and refreshing both hot and cold. Alternating between coffee and non-caffeinated drinks reduces total caffeine load while maintaining hydration. For those worried about giving up their favorite drink, remember, it's not about removal, it's about rhythm. The Japanese have shown that mindful sequencing, hydration first, nourishment next, stimulation last, keeps the body in harmony. Once your morning follows that order, coffee becomes an enjoyable addition rather than a hidden stressor. By adopting these small adjustments, you preserve both your balance and your beloved morning ritual. The difference is often felt within days: fewer dizzy moments, steadier steps, and better focus. And while coffee is one piece of the puzzle, the Japanese approach to balance extends beyond the cup. Their daily movements hold more secrets about stability and longevity, secrets worth exploring next. In Japan, maintaining balance isn't just about what you drink, it's also about how you move. Every morning, thousands of elders across the country take part in a quiet yet powerful tradition known as Radio Taiso, or radio exercise. Broadcast on public stations since the 1920s, these short routines combine stretching, breathing, and gentle coordination. The movements look simple, but they are carefully designed to awaken the joints, activate circulation, and train balance through rhythm and repetition. The Japanese approach treats the body as something to be tuned each day, not merely used. Just as you hydrate before coffee, you move before rushing into activity. These light exercises, often performed outdoors or in community centers, involve slow arm circles, light knee bends, and gentle twists that engage the muscles responsible for posture and equilibrium. For seniors, they serve as a natural reset button for stability, one that prepares both the body and the mind for the day ahead. Okinawan centenarians, famous for their longevity, practice similar routines every morning. Their secret is not intensity but consistency. They move slowly but daily, keeping the muscles and nerves communicating efficiently. Studies published in Geriatrics and Gerontology International show that even 10 minutes of daily low-intensity movement can significantly improve balance and reduce fall risk in adults over 70. When paired with proper hydration, this habit becomes a natural shield against age-related decline. There's also a mental aspect to these exercises. Moving with mindfulness enhances the connection between brain and body. In Japanese culture, this link is called Shinshin Itai, mind and body as one. It reflects the idea that true stability comes from awareness, not strength alone. When you move consciously, your nervous system sharpens its coordination, improving reflexes and reaction time, two key factors for preventing imbalance. The Japanese also incorporate balance maintenance into daily life without formal workouts. They squat to reach objects, sit on floor cushions, and walk more frequently on uneven ground. These micro-movements constantly challenge balance reflexes, keeping them active. Contrast that with the Western lifestyle, where long hours of sitting weaken stabilizing muscles, making even small imbalances noticeable over time. Even posture plays a part. In Japan, elders are taught to keep their center of gravity slightly forward, with a straight spine and relaxed shoulders. This stance improves balance efficiency and reduces strain on the joints. The alignment mirrors the graceful poise seen in traditional arts like Tai Chi or Ikigai walking, slow, intentional movement that cultivates steadiness inside and out. Together, these physical practices complement the mindful morning rituals of hydration and gentle stimulation. They complete the cycle of preparation. First, water to restore, then movement to align, and finally, nourishment to sustain. When applied together, these steps create a body that doesn't just resist imbalance, it anticipates and corrects it naturally. With these ancient insights in mind, we can now connect every element, the coffee, the hydration, the movement, into one clear, modern strategy for preserving balance and vitality after 60. Let's bring everything together. Over these last reflections, a pattern has emerged, one that blends modern science with timeless Japanese wisdom. The problem was never coffee itself, but the order and awareness surrounding it. When mornings begin with dehydration, empty stomachs, and sudden stimulation, the body struggles to find equilibrium. But when we start instead with hydration, gentle movement, and nourishment, balance becomes a natural outcome. Think back to the first insight. After 60, our systems of coordination, muscles, nerves, and inner ear, become more sensitive to small shifts in hydration and blood pressure. Then came the discovery of the hidden coffee habit, drinking it first thing on an empty stomach. That small, familiar routine quietly drained the body's resources day after day. Yet the solution was surprisingly simple. Drink water first. This single adjustment restores fluid balance, supports the brain's vestibular system, and helps regulate energy more evenly. We learned how Japanese elders approach mornings as rituals of care rather than reaction. They hydrate, stretch, and move before stimulating the body. Their green teas, light meals, and mindful pacing protect both balance and digestion. Scientific studies now validate what tradition has long known. Consistency in hydration, mineral intake, and light exercise directly enhances stability, reflexes, and confidence in movement. By adopting these small but deliberate habits, anyone can rebuild a sense of control over their body. Imagine a 7-day challenge inspired by this wisdom. Each morning, start with a glass of warm water, move gently for 5 minutes, eat something light, and enjoy coffee afterward. Within a week, you might feel the difference. Steadier steps, clearer focus, less dizziness when standing. Over time, these subtle improvements accumulate into something greater: independence, energy, and calm confidence in every movement. The essence of the Japanese approach is respect. Respect for rhythm, for body signals, and for balance as a skill to be nurtured. Balance is not lost all at once. It fades quietly through neglected habits. Likewise, it can return quietly through intentional ones. The good news is that you don't need special supplements, expensive treatments, or strict diets. You need awareness, hydration, and patience, the same tools that have guided Japanese elders for generations. This is the turning point. You now know the hidden coffee mistake that weakens balance after 60, and the simple, science-backed methods to reverse its impact. More importantly, you understand that stability isn't just physical. It's a reflection of how gently you begin your day. The body rewards order and consistency. It thrives on care more than intensity. With this perspective, every morning becomes an opportunity. Each cup of water, each mindful sip of coffee, each quiet stretch builds the foundation for strength and clarity. And as we move into the final thoughts, the focus shifts from knowledge to action, how to make these lessons part of daily life, and how to share them with others seeking steadiness and vitality in their own later years. So now the truth is clear. The small details of your morning routine can decide how steady, clear, and confident you feel throughout the day. Balance after 60 isn't just about age. It's about rhythm, hydration, and intention. A glass of water, a mindful pause, a lighter touch with coffee. These simple actions form a blueprint for stability that anyone can follow. The hidden coffee mistake we uncovered is common, but it's also easy to correct. By changing when you drink coffee rather than whether you drink it, you protect the very systems that keep you upright and independent. Thousands of people have unknowingly weakened their coordination through the habit of skipping water, but now you have the understanding to stop that cycle and strengthen your body again. The Japanese way shows us that wisdom doesn't have to be complicated. It lives in routines repeated daily with care. Hydrating before caffeine, practicing gentle movement, choosing teas that nourish rather than deplete. These are not restrictions but gestures of respect toward your body. When you begin your day with intention, the entire day unfolds differently. You stand taller, move more freely, and think more clearly. Imagine starting tomorrow with this mindset. You wake, drink a warm glass of water, stretch for a few minutes, enjoy a light breakfast, and only then savor your coffee. The aroma feels just as comforting, but this time, it's built on a foundation of balance. The energy that follows is smoother and lasts longer. Over time, these mornings add up, not just to better balance, but to a renewed sense of control over how you age. And now the conversation extends to you. Have you noticed changes in your steadiness after coffee? Do you already practice some of these Japanese habits, or are you planning to try them? Sharing your experience might help someone else recognize the same hidden mistake in their own life. Communities grow stronger when knowledge travels from one story to another, especially when the goal is health and independence. Thank you for taking this journey into the science and wisdom behind something as simple as your morning cup. It's proof that small intentional changes can transform not only how we feel today, but how we live for decades to come. Health, after all, is built quietly, sip by sip, habit by habit. If this lesson resonated with you, consider supporting the conversation by sharing it with friends or family who rely on their daily coffee. They may discover, as you did, that awareness is the first step toward longevity. For those who wish to keep exploring, the next topic will dive even deeper into Japanese health traditions, specifically why many elders in Japan never feel dizzy after standing up. But for now, begin tomorrow with water first, coffee second, and balance always.